Hello children, this is Suresh Sukarma presenting Divine Public School subject Mathematics of class 10th and chapter 3. In this we are going to learn about the introduction of the chapter, pair of linear equations in two variables, and this is the part number 1. In this module, in the introduction of this chapter, as you have read linear equation in two variable in class 9th, but here it is a pair of, means there you have read one equation in two variables, but here we are going to learn about the pair of linear equation in two variable. Okay children, so let us take in this module we are going to learn that the thing first is linear equation in two variable that you have read in class 9th. Here the introduction of this and the graphical representation of that linear equation in two variable. The next thing is pair of linear equation in two variables and graphical representation of that pair of linear equation in two variable with an example 1. So these things we have to learn in this module. Okay children, as you have read the linear equation in two variable in class 9th, so do you know that what is the standard form of linear equation in two variable? So let us discuss about these things. The linear equation in two variable. In this part, as the definition of this is given, an equation which can be put in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where a, b and c are the real numbers and a and b are not b0, is called a linear equation in two variable. Okay students, so in this linear equation in two variables, and the variables are x and y, we often that denote that a and b should not be 0, like this would be a condition. With the condition, the relation between a and b, that is a square plus b square is not equals to 0. Such an equation is a pair of values, one for x and the other for y, which makes the two sides of the equation equal. A linear equation in two variables has infinitely many solutions, as you have read in class 9th. So the children, as the standard form of this linear equation in two variable ax plus by plus c equals to 0, here the variables are x and y, but a, b and c, they all are the real numbers. A is the coefficient of x, b is the coefficient of y, and c is called constant term. The condition is here a square plus b square should not be equals to 0. Okay children, let us see the next. For example, let us substitute x equals to 1 and y is equals to 1 in the left side of the equation. 2x plus 3y equals to 5. So the left side is 2x plus 3y, x is equals to 1 you have substituted, y is equals to 1 you have substituted. You will get 2 1s are 2 plus 3 1s are 3, which is equals to 2 plus 3 is 5, which is equals to right hand side. So this is equals to the right hand side of that equation. 2x plus 3y is equals to 5. It means this x is equals to 1. Therefore the x is equals to 1 and y equals to 1 is a solution of this linear equation 2x plus 3y equals to 5. Okay students, see the graphical representation of this linear equation in two variables. As the variables of these equations are x and y, that you have read this equation is a linear equation. It means when you represent this equation on the graph, you will get a straight line or you will get a linear line. From the name it is clear, but how to, let us see. Let us take an example of this. An equation be x plus 2y equals to 6. Now this equation can be in the form of table as follows by writing the values of y below the corresponding values of x. When you simplify this equation, if you substitute x is equals to 0, so you will get y is equals to 3. If you substitute x is equals to 2, so 2, you will get y is equals to 2. If you substitute x is equals to 4, you will get y is equals to 1. And if you substitute x is equals to 6, then you will get y is equals to 0. So from these values of x and y, we will get the following points that can be represented on the graph. So the points are, the coordinates of those points are 0, 3, second point is 2, 2, third point is 4, 1, and fourth point is 6, 0. That you know that if you want to find out the solution of this equation, you will get infinitely many solutions. As we have discussed in class 9th, it was cleared also. So we have taken 4 points on this line. Let us represent these points on the graph. See what you will get there in the graph. Okay children, see the graph of these points when we plot there on the graph. So this is x-axis, it is y-axis, and these are the points we have taken. 0, 3, this is the point, first point. 2 on x-axis, on y-axis is 2, this is 2, 2. On x-axis is 4, on y-axis is 1, on x-axis is 6, and on y-axis is 0. So you will get this straight line AB passing through these 4 points 0, 3, 2, 2, 4, 1 and 6, 0. So after plotting these points on the graph, we will get some conclusion. Let us list our observations in after plotting this graph. First is every point whose coordinates satisfies the equation lies on the line AB. Second observation is that every point AB, means the value of x is A and the value of y is B, on the line AB gives a solution of this equation. Third point is any point which doesn't lie on the line AB is not a solution of this equation. So the children, it is clear that the point which lies on this line, they are the solution of this equation, and the point which doesn't lie on this line AB, that is not a solution of this equation. So this line can be expanded in both the direction infinitely. Therefore it is said to be that there are infinite solution of one linear equation in two variable. Clear, children? Okay, children, let us see the next part of this session, that is the third part, which is pair of linear equation in two variables. So the pair of linear equations in two variables, that you know that it was the one equation only. Here you will get two equation. So you just, children, guess what will be the standard form of this pair of linear equations in two variables. So let us see. The general form of a pair of linear equations in two variables are given as follows. So the variables are x and y, and the pair of equations is a1x plus b1y plus c1 equals to 0, where in this first equation a1 is the coefficient of x, b1 is the coefficient of y, c1 is the constant term. And in the second equation, that's why these called the pair of equations, a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals to 0, where a2 is the coefficient of x in second equation, b2 is the coefficient of y, and c2 is the constant term. Okay, students, so where these coefficients are a1, b1, c1, a2, b2 and c2 are all the real numbers, and for the first equation condition is a1 square plus b1 square is not 0, and for the second equation condition should be followed, a2 square plus b2 square is not 0. So some of the examples of a pair of linear equations in two variables are as follows. So one example is given here. Suppose the equations are x plus 2y minus 4 equals to 0. It is equation number 1. 2x plus 4y minus 12 equals to 0. It is equation number 2. So here from the first equation, a1 is 1, that is coefficient of x, a2 is plus 2, which is coefficient of y, and c1 is minus 4. And from the second equation, a2 is 2, b2 is plus 4, and c2 is minus 12. Understood? Okay, students, let us see an example based on this pair of linear equation in two variables. The example number 1 is Akhila went to a fair in her village and she wanted to enjoy rides on the giant wheel and want to play a hoopla. The number of times she played hoopla is half of the number of rides on the giant wheel she had on the giant wheel. Okay, if each ride cost rupees 3 and a game of hoopla cost rupees 4, how would you find out the number of rides she had and how many times she played hoopla, provided that she spent rupees 20 on both the game. Okay, so the children understand the concept of the question first. Akhila went to a fair in her village. She wanted to enjoy the rides on the giant's wheel and want to play hoopla. Okay, there are two games that she want to play. The number of times she played hoopla is half of the number of rides she had on the giant wheel. This is the first condition. Based on this, you will get first equation. Second condition is, if each ride cost rupees 3 and a game of hoopla cost rupees 4, how would you find the number of rides she had and how many times she played hoopla, provided she spent rupees 20? So the question is asking how the number of rides and how many times she played hoopla. Number of rides on the field and the number of that how many times she played hoopla. So for this we have to consider those two variables, then we have to carry forward to make the equation. After finding the equation, we have to solve it. Okay students, let us see the solution of this equation. So for the solution, first of all, the things which is asked in this, we have to take 2 as a variables for those condition. So denoted that the number of rides on the giant wheel, Akhila said that denote that the number of rides that Akhila had by X and the number of times she played hoopla, that is Y. So the question is given, the number of times he played hoopla is half of the number of taken the rides. So now the situation can be represented by 2 equations from these 2 conditions. So first conditions, the pair of linear equations is so found, y is equals to 1 upon 2x, that is the first condition, and based on this first condition you will get the equation x minus 2y equals to 0. It is equation number 1. And second condition is given, if each ride cost rupees 3, that is 3 of x, and each game of hoopla cost rupees 4, that is 4y, and total cost rupees 20 c was having, so 3x plus 4y is equals to 20. These are 2 equations you got from these 2 conditions. Let us see the solutions based on the graphical representation of these 2 equations. So let us represent these equations graphically. So for this we need at least 2 solutions of each of the equation. So let us find out the solutions for each of the equation. Then we have to represent those solutions on the graph. We give these solutions in this table. See, the first equation is x minus 2y equals to 0. From this you will get this table, x is 0, then y is 0, y is equals to x upon 2. If x is equals to 2, then y is equals to 1. See the second equation, 3x plus 4y is equals to 20. So the graph of this, y is equals to 20 minus 3x upon 4. Okay students, for the second equation, 3x plus 4y equals to 20. Let us find the table, means the value of x and y. This is the value of x, these are, and the value of y, which is from the equation when you solve y is equals to 20 minus 3x upon 4. Substitute x is equals to 0. If you substitute x is equals to 0, you will get y is equals to 5. So 20 minus 0 upon 4, 20 upon 4, which is equals to 5. If you take y is equals to 0, then you will get x is equals to 20 upon 3. If you will take x is equals to 4, 4 3s are 12, 20 minus 12 is 8 upon 4, which is equals to 2, that is the value of y. Okay children, let us represent these values on the graph. So this is your graph of this equation. It is x-axis, it is y-axis. This is the graph of the equation x minus 2y is equals to 0, which passes through these 2 points 0 0, that is origin, and 4 2, which you have find in the table. And this is the line of the equation 3x plus 4y equals to 20, passes through the point 0 5, 4 2, and this is that these two values are represented. Now both the lines intersecting at the point 4 2. It means the value of x equals to 4 and the value of y equals to 2 is the solution of these two equations. Therefore children, we observe that the two linear equations, the two lines representing the two equations are intersecting at the point 4 2 from these two. It means this 4 2 is the solution of this equation. So the children, the next thing which is very important that we will discuss in the next session, you have to study well with the help of your textbook these things. Thank you.